Okay, guys, I am getting my camera set up. I want you guys to get this paper in front of you. We have a short day today, but today's lesson's not going to be too much of different from what you've been doing. So we're gonna go over this idea of the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. It sounds fancy. It's not. It's not difficult at all. I want you to flip this paper over, okay? And I want you to go ahead and draw me a triangle. And when you see your triangle, when I say draw me a triangle, I want it to be a right triangle. Go ahead and draw me a right triangle here. We'll draw another one like this. Okay. You know they're right triangles because you can see the L, right? You can see where that L is, and let me draw one more. And you know they look different sizes and different like positions orientation wise, but they're still right triangles, okay? So this idea, we know the formula. Go ahead and write it up here again. Leg squared plus leg squared equals hypo squared. Okay, we're comfortable with that. We just had a quiz on that. Now, the converse idea is almost working backwards. This idea of, I want you to write this question down. I'm going to use a different color, but you guys can write it down wherever you like. Right. Is this triangle I'm going to put it in quotations, right triangle? Is this triangle a right triangle? We're going to go through all three of these questions basically. You're going to ask yourself, is this a right triangle? And what I shouldn't have done, and I'm actually going to get my white out. So I'm saying they're right triangles because I drew that out there, but I'm going to get fancy here. Cross out that. We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure if it's a right triangle. Okay? So what's going to happen is they're going to give you three numbers. They're going to give you three numbers. And remember, let's talk about something called this right there. Where's the hypo? The hypo or the hypotenuse? Remember this right here. And put this in parentheses. Is always the longest side. Okay? The hypo is always the longest side. So real quick, let's go ahead and try one out. Let's just say this triangle is 7, 4, and 5. And we'll say this triangle is 8, 15, and 17. And then we'll give this last triangle, we're going to say this is 18, 82, and 78. Okay, big numbers, right? So you've written these out. And I covered up the right triangle. I covered up the right triangle symbol because we want to know if this is actually true. Are they right triangles? Now, last week, you were given two sides and you had to find a third. Or maybe you were given, these two sides, the leg and the hypo, and you had to find a third. And they told you they're right triangles. Now you're working backwards to prove, is it a right triangle? All you have to do is plug into the calculator. All you have to do is plug into calculator. Super simple. Plug into calculator, but you do need to remember this step right here. What is the longest side? So we're going to test this idea of, is this a right triangle? We're going to test that idea. All right. How are we going to test it? Well, we're going to plug it into the calculator and see if it makes sense. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. What would I consider a leg, and the hypo? What would I consider that? Is this a leg? Is this a leg and this is a hypo? We don't know because there's no right angle sign. We could kind of guess because of this L, but what do we know? The hypo is always the longest side. So if this was a right triangle, which one would be the hypo? The 7, because 7's bigger than 4, 7's bigger than 5. The hypo is always the longest side, okay? So for this problem, which one would be the hypo? The 17, because it's the longest side, And for this one, it would be 82 for the longest side. The reason, these are triangles drawn, but if you flip over your paper, is there a triangle drawn, for number 3? No. Is there a triangle drawn for number 5 or number 6? No. So what would be the hypo on number 3? It would be 36 because that's the longest side, and then you would test it. 50 would be the longest. That would be the hypo here, and 6.5 would be the hypo. Now let me just go ahead and show you how this is done. You're going to find out how easy this is. Is this a triangle? Is this triangle a right triangle? How would you answer that? Your answers for this are either going to be yes or no. That is all you need to give me. Yes or no for these kinds of questions, okay? I would like you to try it out to make sure, not just guess and say, well, I have a 50-50 chance. No, let's actually do it. So right here, if I go 4 squared, okay, right? That's a leg, because we know the longest side's a hypo, plus 5 squared, okay, equals 41, right? So now I'm going to do square root of 41 equals 6.4. Is this 6.4? Nope. So this is not a triangle. This is not a right triangle. We just tried it out. I know it may sound kind of weird. No worries. We're going to do a lot of these. No. All right, let's try the middle one. All right, what am I going to do? 8 squared, right? Because we're going to say the hypo is the longest side, plus 15 squared equals 289. And the square root of 289 is 17. Is that what we want? So yes, and I would want you to even do this, boom, and put yes. Why does that make sense? Because all these numbers do work for the theorem. It works perfectly. You get your 17 as your hypo. All right, 8 squared plus 15 squared does equal 17 squared. All right, let's try the last one. All right, for this one, we're going to go, which one's the hypo supposed to be? 82? Because it's the longest. So let's go 18 squared plus 78 squared, and we're going to go equals. And then what are we going to do? Square root of the answer. We can even do it that way to see, does this make sense? 80.04, and this says 82. So is this a right triangle? It's close, but nope, it is not. All right, let's flip over the sheet. Let's do some more. Have your calculator out still. All right, have your calculator out. I don't think I made that clear. Let me get a new sheet because I drew all over that back and it's hard to see with the marker. But all right, so now if I go ahead and go for it on this next problem, super simple. Just use the same numbers. Which one would be the hypo? The 25, because it's the largest. Now we're going to say yes for sides that do form a right triangle, right? Yes or no, okay? So here we go. We're going to go 7 squared plus 24 squared. All right, and we're going to go square root of the answer, right? Square root of 625. What does that equal? Oh, is that what we're looking for? Yep, so this is a yes. Very nice, very nice, very nice, okay? Why don't you try number 2 on your own? I'll give you a second. Push pause, Miss Alonzo. All right, plus 40 squared. And what does that equal? 2,500. And then let's go 25. Oops, let's try it again. My bad. I hit clear too many times. Plus 40 squared. How do I know to put 45 as the hypo? Because it's the longest, it's the biggest number. And that equals 50. This says 45. Nope. If that was a 50, it would have worked. All right. Ooh, decimals now. Try this one, guys, out on your own as well. That's a point right there. Okay. And then you go square root of the answer. Ooh, look at all this work, even with decimals. This would be a yes, okay? So I did that. Look at the work I did. I plugged it in. Super simple. All right, guys, you know these skills, okay? You have all 3 sides. You're just checking to see if this is actually a real right triangle. Why don't you do 4, 5, and 6, and we'll go over that in just a minute. Go ahead and push pause. All right, and then we're gonna go square root of the answer. We get, this one's kind of tough. It's not exact, so I would say no. It's close, but it's 18.02, not exactly 18. I know that's a tough one. It's got to be perfectly exact. Nope. They may, I'm not sure. I got to look to see what they put as the answer on that one. I'll look in the book for that one. That was a maybe. I still don't think it is, though. All right, let's try the last one. 2.5 squared plus 6 squared. And we're going to go square root of the answer. Oh, yes, it is. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Why don't you keep going, trying out 6, 7, and 8. Finish this sheet and then look at the bottom. Find the length of each hypotenuse. Okay. And then go ahead and finish this part as well. See what you get. Compare with your partners. I'm not going to do all of this with you guys. You guys can do all of this. You guys are capable. Then, as you finish this sheet together, you take a look at it with what your partner has. I really want you guys taking this serious, okay? So now you have this in front of you. I want both your names on this, okay, with your partner and you. And I want to see answers here plugged in. When one person is working on the problem and writing, the other person's on the calculator. So if this is A, then B has the calculator. All right, then B is writing, A has the calculator. The first 6 is what we've done today, and then the rest of the sheet is stuff we've already done. It's review, okay? It's from last week. Don't forget, where are your legs? Where's your hypo? Talk to your partner if you need help. Remember, your legs are here. They form the L, okay? So this would be 2 squared plus 5 squared equals, h squared, hypo squared, all right? But for number 16 is a little different, right? It would be 3.9 squared, right? But the other part of the L is missing, plus, we'll just say x squared equals 11 squared. Do the best you can on this, on both sides of this, and I'll have something for you as an exit ticket. Great job, guys.